Hello, Tamara, my love. Welcome to your personal roast. And if you're not Tamara and you're interested what this is a personal astrology roast. I like to call it roast or reading because is it a roast? Yes, but it is also a reading. So if you're interested, you can get a personal astrology roast at rxtarot.com. Okay, Tamara, my love, let's jump straight into your chart. Starting with your rising sign, if I can find her in between everything. You are a Scorpio rising. This makes Pluto and Mars your chart rulers. So for some people, that would take them all the way to the other side. But for you, that doesn't really change much. You have a massive double stellium energy going on. Pretty much everything is in the same energy for you. Now, obviously, you've got some other things going on, especially your moon being over here. I don't want to make it seem like you only have one focus, but you pretty much only have one focus, and that's you, babe. Who are you? Who do you want to be? Where do you want to go with your life? Are you talking to yourself nice? Because that 12th house says otherwise. So, being a Scorpio rising, you are somebody who is so intense. You are so passionate. You are so obsessive, especially about love, specifically for you with your Venus also on top of your rising sign. When it comes to love, you want to love fully, completely. You want to be in somebody's skin. Hopefully it's not very, Silence of the Lambs-y, but there is sort of this energy of just wanting to be so close to somebody that you guys think the same thoughts, that you talk about the same things, you love the same things. And they don't necessarily have to be the same as you. You just want to merge with somebody. So letting yourself be this lover girl that you really are, letting yourself lean into the fact that you do love. You are somebody who is so passionate and so connected and so deep. You need somebody else who is just as deep, who has met themselves as deeply as you have. That could be a little bit tricky, okay? Because all of this Scorpio, you have dug, my love, and you may not have tried to dig. There's likely been situations throughout your life that have been really intense and caused some sort of Phoenix moment. It's probably happened more than once, where you just had to learn yourself on a deeper level that other people can't relate to. So, with all of that being said, this is sort of your energy, right? We have this intensity, we have this hyper focus. Let's go down the line over here to keep it organized. Your sun in Sagittarius, that is going to be your vitality. That's what gives you life. Being a sun in Sagittarius means you love to explore, you love to try new things, you love to travel, you love to think about philosophical topics and expand. You want to expand your mind, you want to expand the conversation, and you want to experience new things. That is all beautiful, and I love that that gives you life, but it's literally your purpose too. Your North Node is also in Sagittarius in the first. And your Mars is in Sagittarius in the first. So your North Node is your internal compass. It's always pointing towards what you really want, what your soul hopes to experience in this lifetime. And then Mars in Sagittarius is what you should be doing, right? It's how you operate. It's what you do. So you are constantly probably pushing yourself a little bit too far sometimes. You are probably pushing yourself all of the time to make sure whatever it is that you're doing has meaning, has purpose, and you're driven by excitement. You're driven by experience. Don't let any of that be a bad thing. I wonder if sometimes you get a little bit hung up on if what you're doing is worth it or if what you're doing is enough. Learning to let it be enough and make it be enough is going to be a huge part of your journey, because being forced into your first house all of the time, it's asking you to trust yourself, follow yourself, do the thing that you would do. And if you struggle with that, maybe tap into what your inner child wanted to do. Tap into even what your inner teen thought about doing. Give yourself that time to think about the different versions of yourself and how you can fulfill even one of those little checklist tasks. Because part of your issue, I think, is wanting to do it all. there's literally no way. There's literally no way. You can't do it all. You can't have a consistent job and also become a personal trainer and also fall in love and have the love of your life and be a stay-at-home mom and wife for them while also running your own business. Like you have to pick one. You have to pick one and stick to it for a while and get that pretty solid before you move on to the next thing. And even if you don't make that pretty solid, but you do it for a minute and you're like, okay, I'm bored, trust that. Because the Sagittarius energy is not going to want you to do the same thing for a long time. The Scorpio energy does want you to dig as far as you're willing to go. It does want you to get deep and go further, especially your Scorpio Venus. Scorpio Venus is a sneaky little girl because she is also a huge sign of a workaholic. Let me explain. Scorpio is all about depth. It's all about how far can you go. Yes, it's about love. Venus. Yes, it's about love. But with Venus also being about earthly goods and value, sometimes Scorpio Venus is like, yeah, let me prove my worth. Let me prove my value. Let me dig deeper and show you exactly how worthy I am. And it comes from a place of wanting to be the best, do the best. But the issue is it can cause you to feel exhausted and drained and, maybe like you're doing a little bit too much sometimes. So take a step back, remind yourself to lean into fun. If you're taking things a little too seriously, you're likely in the Scorpio energy. So lean back into what actually brings you life, right? Your sun sign brings you life. That's your Sagittarius. Follow the Sagittarius for a minute. If you get too serious about it, if you get too stuck in it, be a little bit more fun, be a little bit more lighthearted. Your Scorpio Mercury in the 12th. Mercury in the 12th is tricky already. Mercury is how we express ourselves, but it's also our conscious mind. So for you to have your conscious mind in your subconscious, it may be hard for you to express yourself sometimes because everything you're saying feels like you're exposing this deep truth about yourself. Whether it is or it isn't, it just always feels very exposing. And then of course, Jupiter being here, Jupiter expands everything it touches, right? So Jupiter being here, there can be a lot of overthinking. There can be a lot of deep thoughts, which is not necessarily a bad thing if you have the space for it, you have the time, you have the energy. But if you're trying to sleep in the middle of the night and you constantly are sort of beating yourself up in the middle of the night, I'm talking about your Chiron too. Stop. It's time to find a nighttime meditation to help you actually sleep. It's time to clear your subconscious and no longer get stuck in the perfectionism of trying to prove your worth, prove what you know, which is also very South Node Gemini, by the way, proving what you know. Do I know enough? Let me prove to you what I know. It's also in the 7th house. So I have a feeling you may have a tendency to think, oh, this relationship's going to go this way because I know how this ends. Am I in the ballpark? So having this wound of perfection, the Chiron in Virgo in your 10th house, this tells me you are meant to go after what you want. You are meant to heal your wound of thinking you're not good enough, or, how can you show up in a way that others will appreciate? You're meant to move away from that. You're meant to lean in to your midheaven in Leo, shine bright anyway. And let me be more specific. When I say move away from your Chiron in Virgo, it's not necessarily avoid it completely. It's not like, oh, turn the other cheek. But it is about understanding that that fear is only trying to protect you, is only trying to help you. So learning to work with it is going to be learning to feel your feelings about it and learning to process them, let them go. Your moon in Pisces is really interesting for a couple of reasons. It's opposing your Chiron, which is already pretty intense. Anything you feel could be attached to all of your deepest wounds. And Pisces moons, yes, it's a water sign, but the depth of Pisces, it's like Neptune, right? It's the depths of the ocean. You don't even know what's down there, and it's kind of scary to look. Like, we have aliens in the ocean now, right? So it's scary to look at. It's scary to observe. It's scary to feel. And Pisces moons tend to be people who don't want to feel their feelings. But this is what grounds you. 4th house. This is what grounds you. This is what makes you feel safe. This is what gives you the ability to connect into how you're currently feeling, which is what tells you what you're focused on and what direction you're actually going in. So, with all of that being said, stop putting yourself in these mental boxes. Saturn in the 3rd. Stop putting yourself in a corner, Mercury in the 12th, and let yourself really shine. Let yourself be this intense, fun-loving person that you really are. When you let yourself be who you are, things are going to break through. You may want to dig deeper and make sure that you know enough, make sure that you're good enough, make sure that you have all of the information you need first. But you are someone who's meant to charge head first, experience it as you go, and then fix it later. Fix it later. If something doesn't really work out, if you go through a little bit of a Phoenix moment, that's good for you. I know that sounds a little bit scary, but the truth of it is you're meant to be somebody who really does challenge other people's beliefs, who digs to the truth, who is someone, you're very deep, you're very intense, you're very passionate. Don't let that be a bad thing. Don't hide yourself away because you're too intense. Be who you are and really show up with that energy. I think you're going to start to see, and you may already be doing this, but once you start to show up to this energy, once you realize being fun-loving and enjoying yourself and following through with the experience, things are going to come together for you in a way that you don't expect. I hope you enjoyed this reading, Tamara. Thank you so much. And if you're interested in booking one, you can check me out at rxtarot.com. Bye.